So keeping on this avenue of healthy communication, there's really 4 steps that we look at. And so the first step, so many times it's more of a reactionary standpoint where we want to react, and so we go for the judgment or the evaluation or the finger pointing. And I don't know about you, but I do not like being confronted where there's blame or when I'm feeling judged. And so I want to reflect that to the other person. So the first thing is we come from a place of observations. Have you ever noticed when I come at a person, or if you notice, if you've either been the receiver or the giver of you never, or you always, or you, how you're able to say, no, I don't, we're able to confront that so easily. So by changing the phrasing of, I want to share my observation. I'm observing X, Y, Z. What is interesting is you cannot argue with another person's observation. So many times when we share, a person goes, no, I didn't. Maybe they'll say, you may or may not have, but I'm sharing my observations. And if it gets really confrontational, I'll simply say, you can't argue my observations because it's simply my observation. I'm not saying good, I'm not saying bad. I'm merely holding up a mirror and sharing what I'm observing. What is a way that I can share my observations with you? Because I want to feel heard, but I also don't want you to feel attacked. I want to know how I can bring this up and you're able to hear it as opposed to take it as blame or shame or whatever they bring up. So that's the first step, is releasing the judgment, the shame, the blame, and coming from a place of observation. Second is, I want to understand what my feeling is. So many times we want to go after the trigger, but when I understand this is triggering a story for me and I'm feeling a certain way based on this story, once I can identify and label the feelings, it makes it so much easier for me to share that observation, because now I'm aware of, oh, here's what I'm attaching to that, here's what I'm feeling, and then here's how we get to the third step. So the second one is what I'm feeling in regards to what I'm seeing, what I'm observing, the data that I'm extracting. And then the third thing is to meet the need. We're all desperately trying to meet our needs. One of the guys that I've gotten some of this from, Dr. Rosenberg, states when people come from an attack place or they bring the weapons, it's a tragic attempt to meet that unmet need. Wow, when I first heard that, I remember thinking, what an eloquent way to put when someone is kicking and screaming or whatever it is, it's a tragic attempt to get a need met. So I know for me, if I can identify what need I have when I'm coming into a conversation, I'm able to kind of set some ground rules for myself because I have the end in mind. Now I can make the request, which is the fourth step. So many times we make the request and we are making the request thinking it's going to meet the need, but if we're not even clear on what our need is, then we're making all these empty requests that may not even meet the need. So by observing, by connecting and labeling and identifying what my feelings are, then I can find out what that need is to make that request. So super simple, just breaking it down into the observation, to the feeling, to the need, to the request. And that's the framework that we use when we interact in a lot of confrontational communication. And what it does is it helps remove the defense mechanism, it helps remove the weapons, and it helps remove these tragic attempts so we can really cut to the quick, get to the core to make the request with our loved one of what's going on, what we're observing, and what we can do to get our need met or meet their need.